Subs Athlete of the Month is Eastern boys basketball big man Trey Moses. On the court, Trey has helped the Eagles to a 14-6 record this winter. Off the court, Moses has been equally busy, involved with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, the Best Buddies program, involved with the special needs students at Eastern, and has a 3.4 grade point average. Trey's headed to Ball State after graduating from Eastern, where he'll double major in broadcasting and special needs education. Trey Moses, the February Penn Station Athlete of the Month on WLKY.
Well, I work with special needs, so they've really helped me out in life because they appreciate every little thing you do for them, so it makes me appreciate it.
In what way? Like what? As an example.
Like I could just play basketball with them, and then they tell me every day, "Thanks for playing basketball with me."
So you're going to major in this in college?
Yes, sir.
It's close to your heart.
Yes, sir.
We just love the part that he plays, and the kids love him, so I thought it would be the best thing to do. Not only is he a big factor on the court, he's also an amazing big factor and presence that we have in our high school.
He's an outstanding athlete, but also outstanding in the classroom, and he's an outstanding leader in the building.
Trey would probably be the textbook definition of a better person than he is an athlete. And obviously by the award and the recognition he's gotten, he's a pretty good.
Eastern's Trey Moses for February, the Penn Station Athlete of the Month on WLKY. Congratulations.
Class of 2020, you did it. You graduated, you did what you thought you never could do. I know for me, I was the same way. Graduated from Eastern in 2015. Never thought I would have been able to see the day, and then it came. Unfortunately for you guys are graduating during a pandemic, and I know that's tough for you guys. I think it's kind of cool. You guys are the first to ever kind of do it. So, you know, whatever you guys are deciding to do next, whether it's college or trade school or just going straight into a job, I think it's important that you guys attack it and do everything with 100% your best. I think it's important that you don't give up. Understanding that you're going to hit adversity, understanding that, you know, life is going to happen, things are going to happen, but it's important to just push through, lean on the people you love and care about, and that love and care about you. I know how tough it can be. I know how tough life can be. When I was in 7th grade, I went to Crosby. I started dealing with mental health issues. It was the first time I remember having thoughts of like not wanting to be here, and I didn't really understand it at all. You know, I would say Crosby is one of the best middle schools in Louisville. I had great friends, great people in my life, great family, played basketball. And so for me, it was like, why am I feeling the way I feel? So I go from that to Eastern, where, you know, still dealing with mental health issues. As I got into, you know, into high school, I started self-harming, and it was tough for me because, you know, obviously playing basketball, playing sports in general, you're kind of more in a spotlight, things are tougher, and so, you know, I felt like I was living two lives in the sense that I was who I was in school and sports and whatever, but then I was like hiding who I actually was and dealing with mental health issues, and no one knew. It was really tough for me. It was tough not understanding not only what I was going through, but how to handle what I was going through. I graduate, you know, it was awesome. I go to Ball State University, where I continued to play sports, played basketball there, you know, on a scholarship, and, you know, definitely blessed to do that. And so for any of you guys who have scholarships in any way, sports, academic, you know, kudos to you. It's the chance to get education fully paid for, partially paid for, whatever it is, just so you guys can, you know, continue your education is awesome. And so moving on to college, I was still dealing with mental health issues not many people knew. We had someone come and talk to us my freshman year that summer, and as athletes you got to be, or as basketball players at least, you got to be there the summer before your freshman year. So I was they were 7 days after graduation, so that was tough for me, not really being able to celebrate with my family and see everyone before college. And so I, you know, just dealing with those pressures and the pressures of going to college athletics and already dealing with mental health issues, it was tough for me. It was like I still didn't know how to handle anything that I was going through. You know, we had someone come talk to us, and she did like a little survey, and I answered honestly, like, you know, I was dealing with mental health issues and stuff like that. I had thoughts of, you know, not wanting to be here, not thinking much of it, just thinking it's whatever. She's a, you know, grad student. She's just doing this to get her hours in. Probably a week later, she comes back and talks to me, and we started meeting every week for the next 6 months, I think. We met my whole freshman year, and that was awesome for me. It was a chance for me to really talk about what I was going through and kind of explain and get it out there that I didn't know what I was going through and why. You know, I was diagnosed with severe depression, and I think there's this stigma around mental health and this stigma around counseling and this stigma around opening up and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. And you know, that's a big thing that I'm going to challenge you guys to do, is just be vulnerable, be open for change. Because I know for me, it changed everything for me. Me going to counseling, me trying to get help, me seeking help, me telling my friends what I was going through. It changed a lot for me. Moving forward, my sophomore year, great basketball year for me. You know, I had a good freshman year too, but sophomore year made the all defensive team for the conference. Was playing a lot more, even though I played a lot my freshman year as well. There was nothing I could complain about my freshman year. It was one of those things where, you know, not much went wrong for me. And so I move on to kind of after season, you know, things kind of dwindle down, focusing just on school. And I don't know, I just got in a really bad moment, and you know, I had actually tried to take my own life, and you know, that was another one of those tough moments for me. Just, you know, I look back and I don't know that I don't truly know what I was going through. It's one of those things where it's like I didn't know how to cope still, and I was 18, 19 years old as a sophomore, and just didn't truly understand, you know, kind of how to cope and what I was going through. You know, luckily one of my friends came and picked me up and took me to the hospital, and you know, luckily everything was good. After that day, I told Zach Hollywood, one of my teammates, and I remember him saying, "Bro, like, why didn't you tell me?" And it was, you know, dang, man, like, I'm really sorry. It's not that he made me feel bad, but it was just, you know, just feeling bad for not telling him. Zach was funny. He was my best friend and my teammate, which, you know, for me, it was awesome to have someone who I saw every day as like a best friend too. Like, we were working hard together. We were able to hang out outside of sport. And I think that's important for your athletes, is to be intentional at the next level with, you know, with your teammates, get to know your teammates, do things outside of sports with them. And so that was important for me, and I did that with him. We both had a passion for those with disabilities, so that brought us closer. We both were fans of the same musicians, so that brought us closer. Obviously played basketball, so that brought us closer. So it was just awesome getting to know him his redshirt freshman year. So that would have been my sophomore year, his freshman year. You know, we worked out all summer. We were in the same weightlifting group, you know, just trying to get as strong as we possibly could. Working out every day together, shooting late nights with each other, hanging out with each other. You know, I have a ton of memories from that summer just because it was so awesome. Going to concerts, it was everything I could have asked for. And then my junior year, you know, we're both excited to play with each other. I'm a rising junior, and you know, I'm supposed to have arguably a top 15, 20 player in the conference. It's, up in the air on what I do. He would have been a redshirt freshman, and, he's excited to get on the court, and we're excited to play together. My birthday is August 21st, so about, second, third day of classes. And so we had a little get together and had all my close people over, and it was awesome. I knew he had been going through some stuff, and so for me, I looked at him and I was like, wow, like he's super happy, like things are starting to change. I remember him telling me, bye, I love you, he gave me a hug. And, from there I was like, man, that's awesome. I went to bed shortly after. The next day we had a team meeting at 12, we had a team meeting at 1, I had class at 9 and 10. I woke up that morning with 4 missed calls and 2 voicemails from him. I didn't really think much of it. I hope you guys don't do this, but I have a real bad habit of, when I was in college, I'd wake up like 15 minutes before classes and like rush to get to class, and I would just advise you guys not to do that, because for me, yes, I graduated, but I probably could have been a little bit of a better student had I got there a little earlier. So I just didn't think much of the calls. I was texting him and calling him back, but it was still early, so I was just like, hey, maybe he's still asleep. It gets to about 12, and I'm like, man, I still haven't heard from him, so I'm walking back to our locker room, because we have that meeting, and I see one of our teammates who was also his roommate. I was like, hey, can you take me to check on Zach, because neither one of us had heard from him. And we get to his apartment, I walk into his room, and he had taken his own life. And just everything that I saw, it was like I say to everyone, like, I wouldn't wish what happened on anyone else. I'm glad it happened to me, because I know what I went through following that, and it's tough. And my point to you guys is, you're gonna have adversity. Life is all about adversity. God put us here, and he didn't promise us an easy life. He promised us a life of not being alone. And for me, it was understanding that. Although it took me a while to understand that, it was understanding that part right there. And no matter what you go through in life, especially in your next 4 years of college, trade school, going straight to a job, you're gonna hit adversity. You're gonna fail a test. You may or may not pass a class. You're gonna accidentally oversleep, and you're gonna be upset because you missed class. Whatever adversity you go through, big or little, one, don't compare what you're going through to anyone else. Your story is your story. Everyone has a story, and your story matters. What you've gone through in life matters. What you may go through in life matters. So if you want to tell your story, tell your story. Everyone has a story, like I said, so be vocal about what matters to you, because what matters to you may matter to other people. That's how you create friendships. What matters to you may help someone going through stuff. That's how we make the world a better place, is by creating change. My advice to you is to be bigger than you. Life is bigger than yourself. Life is bigger than you. And for your next 4 years, like I said, you're gonna hit adversity, but we gotta figure out ways how to get through adversity. Class of 2020, super proud of you guys. I'm excited for you guys to